Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man, Hezo, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where I always got next, you feel me?
Son of a bitch!
I'm defeated, man. I don't even know what to say anymore. We can't beat the Heat. We really can't beat the Heat. It is, you can't make this shit up, man. You really can't. I don't freaking get it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop a like on the video. We have a ton to get into for this one, so y'all stick around. And let's get right into it. So this game started out and it looked like Atlanta was really gonna control this game. We came out so aggressive, on fire, just dominating the paint, making shots, and really was getting whatever we wanted on offense. Miami's defense just was not protecting the paint. They did not look good, but Miami was making their threes like they had, like they normally do against the Hawks. DeAndre and Trey got off to a lot better start than we saw, obviously last game. They had way better games, but I still have my gripe, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later, so y'all stick around. Bogey and Sadiq came into the game, gave huge impact off the bench, and our bench really was dominating, in the first half of the game. But for the Heat, Duncan Robinson, man, this is a dude that sometimes cooks Atlanta, and I really just don't get it. I don't think the dude has even played in the last however many games. He gets into the rotation because Kevin Love is out. I don't get it, man. Atlanta consistently just gets cooked from the Heat by their bench and their role players, and it's so frustrating to watch. Atlanta played damn near a perfect half of basketball, but the Heat, once again, kept getting the whistle, getting to the line, and I'm going to talk about that in my final takeaways, and just kept hanging around and made a run towards the end of the first half. And as great as Atlanta played in the first half, we were only up 5 going into the break, so I wasn't very comfortable after watching that first half, as well as we played only being up 5 going into the second half. Second half started, Jimmy Butler got going a little bit, but both offenses were pretty much trading baskets for the most part. It kept going from a 2-point game to a tie game to a 5-point game. It just kept fluctuating, and neither team was really neither team was comfortable. And as a Hawks fan, I kind of had a feeling, I'll be honest with you, I had a feeling that the Heat was going to win this game because of the momentum that they were starting to grab. The defense, I knew, was going to ramp up for the Heat in the second half, and we saw that. Jimmy ended up with like 10 points in the third quarter alone, and then in the fourth quarter, it was all Heat, man. It was all Heat from start to finish. The role players, I cannot say enough about the Heat role players. Again, I don't get it. We got cooked, absolutely cooked, by Caleb Martin, Victor Oladipo, and Duncan Robinson all night. Bam didn't have a great game on offense. Jimmy, he played solid. I think he finished with like 20, 22 or whatever, but it wasn't like an incredible 40-point Jimmy Butler game that we've seen in the past. It was the 3-point shooting from the bench of the Miami Heat tonight, as well as Tyler Hero after being clamped all game by Trey. He kind of chipped it in the fourth quarter, starts knocking down his threes, and I've never seen a team run so many dribble handoff and pin downs for guys like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero to get going. And it's just something that the Hawks don't do, that they don't do enough of, and I don't understand it because the Heat have so much success with it, like a guy with a guy like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, who are excellent shooters off of ball screens and on pin downs and everything. And we saw that in the fourth quarter, really throughout the entirety of the game. Miami was just on fire from the three tonight, especially in the fourth quarter. It just seemed like every three they were taking, they were knocking it down. Again, those three guys were just on fire, it seemed like. Caleb Martin was getting superstar foul calls. Oladipo looked like prime Oladipo all over again, like this was Indiana Oladipo. Duncan Robinson was playing up to that $90 million contract he got a couple years ago because he had an excellent game off the bench. And this is something that we have seen from the Heat before when they play the Hawks. I just don't get it. This team is the Hawks' kryptonite, and I just accepted it, man. We can't beat the Heat. If it's in Miami, we cannot win. If it's in Atlanta, yeah, sure, we might be able to get one. But if this game is in Miami, we are not winning this game. It doesn't matter how well we play, because this Heat culture and the Heat defense always prevails in the end when they are playing the Hawks. And it seems like the role players, when they see the Hawks on their schedule, they're licking their chops, man. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I'm about to go crazy this game. Because we've seen it in the past. We saw it in the playoffs. I know y'all remember game 1 of last year with Duncan Robinson hit like 8 threes or whatever it was. Remember game 5, Victor Oladipo with no Jimmy Butler? This isn't anything new. I don't get it. The Heat were one of the worst three-point shooting and the bottom offense in the league coming into tonight. They had their best game from three-point land tonight and one of their best offensive games of the entire season, and none other against the Atlanta Hawks. Go figure. So there's one thing that I want to talk about, and it is really, really bothering me with Hawks fans, and it is the DeAndre Hunter slander. I'm so tired of it. Like, I was on Twitter during the entire game, as I always am, looking at what people were saying and everything. I'm literally live tweeting for every game. Some of y'all know that already. But I'm watching, and I know DeAndre Hunter did not have a solid fourth quarter. He didn't have a great game overall. He missed like two wide open threes, had a bad turnover, but a lot of Hawks fans on Twitter are acting like he single-handedly lost them the game. We're not going to acknowledge Trey shooting 1 for 5 from 3. We're not going to acknowledge DeJounte being 0 for 5 from 3 until that last heave from 3 at the end, at the buzzer at the end of the game. So when you combine these last two games, Trey and DeJounte shot a combined 2 for 20 from 3. But it's all good though. Let's blame DeAndre Hunter, because DeAndre Hunter apparently was the one that let Caleb Martin, Victor Oladipo, Tyler Hero in the fourth quarter, and Duncan Robinson go off. If y'all didn't know, DeAndre Hunter was guarding all four at the same time. They were all going crazy while DeAndre Hunter was guarding them. So let's all blame DeAndre. Let's give our two-star players a pass. Let's give them a pass for last game. Let's give Trey Young a pass for the turnover that he had at the end of the game when it was a three-point game and Caleb Martin was guarding him and he coughed the ball up. No one talks about it. Let's only talk about the 2 threes and the turnover that DeAndre Hunter had. The 2 missed threes and the turnover that DeAndre Hunter had in the fourth quarter, but let's not acknowledge any other performance throughout the entire game. I'm so tired of it, bro. I really don't understand how people consistently, Hawks fans out there, and I'm not saying everybody, Hawks fans out there can consistently slander a guy like DeAndre Hunter when you have 2 point guards who did not do the job last game for damn sure, got bailed out and was a close game last game towards the end of the game. And then this game, yes, they played better. I get all that, but they still shot poorly from 3 in a game that we needed to knock the 3 ball down because Miami was going crazy from 3 and we had nothing to counter that. But again, it's all DeAndre's fault. It's all DeAndre Hunter's fault, right? Your 2-star players can shoot 2 for 20 from 3. Hawks fans, DeAndre Hunter's trash. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Like, are y'all serious? I truly don't understand it. If someone can help me wrap my head around why it's every other player, when John Collins plays bad, he gets the slander. When DeAndre Hunter plays bad, he gets the slander. When whoever plays bad always gets the slander except for the 2 stars. And I don't get it. Y'all constantly want to give them a pass. Y'all constantly want to give them a pass for the turnovers, the missed layups. DeJounte Murray airballed a layup towards the end of the game. He airballed a layup. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but he airballed a layup. But no, he gets a pass because the next play, he came and got a steal or whatever and got into transition. Let's give him a pass for the previous possession though, right? Not DeAndre Hunter. Y'all don't give the same energy to DeAndre Hunter, and I'm so tired of it. And yeah, I'm biased towards DeAndre Hunter because I like the kid. He's got so much potential, and y'all constantly want to slander this dude like he's absolute dog water, and it's crazy. Because let me give y'all 2 stats. DeAndre Hunter in crunch time this season, in clutch time, what's considered clutch time? DeAndre Hunter has the highest field goal percentage on the team. DeAndre Hunter in clutch time on the team has, I think, the 3rd highest 3-point percentage. So why is it that DeAndre Hunter continues to get the slander? But yet in clutch time this season, Trey Young has been below average. DeJounte Murray has been below average. Besides a couple big shots that that DeJounte Murray has hit down the stretch of the ball game. I'm tired of it, bro. I really am. And this got more of a rant towards the end of this, this recap, but I had to address this because I'm so tired of seeing everyone else get a pass except for the non-star players, a la John Collins, DeAndre Hunter. Guys like that, they don't get a pass. Y'all want to eat them alive and consistently just You're okay with Trey shooting 30-footers and going 1 for 5 and having an abysmal performance against the Heat. You're okay with DeJounte going 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 from 3 tonight. Y'all are okay with that. But God forbid, DeAndre Hunter misses 2 threes in the fourth quarter. Because we've never seen that before, right? We've never seen Trey or DeJounte. We've never seen them miss big shots down the stretch of the game. We've never seen them turn the ball over down the stretch of the ball game. No, everybody else gets past. Not DeAndre Hunter. He's trash. He's trash. So I want to get into my final takeaways for this game, man. I apologize for going on that little rant towards the end here, but number one was Trey's defense. And I know I was just talking about Trey, and y'all don't take this the wrong way. I'm not slandering DeJounte and Trey. All I'm simply saying is they get a pass while other guys don't. That's all I'm saying. But Trey's defense was on one tonight. He really was playing Tyler Hero extremely well in the first half and really the entire game, and fighting through screens and everything, going over and under screens, and really just battling and giving a lot of effort and energy on defense. That's something we have not seen out of Trae Young in the past, and maybe that's the reason why his three-point shot isn't falling as much this year, is because he's given a little bit more effort on defense. Y'all can call for what it is. I don't care. It don't matter. We still lost the game in the end. But either way, I liked what I saw from Trey's defense. Hopefully that can continue throughout the rest of the season and maybe even carry over into next season to where he can at least be a respectable defensive player, to where you can't just pick on him every single game and just attack him. I know he's undersized and everything, but if he can at least hold his own to where like he doesn't get completely bullied by smaller guards and by guards, then I think that he could really take his game to the next level. So number 2 was the free throw discrepancy, and I'll be honest with you, man. I said it last video, and I'm really not one to complain about the foul calls. But this game was one-sided in terms of the whistle, man. And Heat fans, I know you're probably going to disagree with that, and that's fine. But it's inevitable, bro. Like, I watched a lot of bad officiating tonight, and how Miami is they're allowed to be physical with Atlanta, but Atlanta's not allowed to be physical with the Heat. And there was one play in particular that I want to point out that I said, yep, Miami, this is Miami's whistle tonight. And that was in the fourth quarter. When Caleb Martin was driving baseline, he had not gathered yet. The ball was still on the floor. They were not in the penalty because it was early on in the quarter. And Sadiq Bey gets called for a blocking foul, but yet Caleb Martin goes to the free throw line and is shooting 2 free throws. Now, I know that he went up for a shot after that, but when the foul was called, the call was on the floor. He had not gathered and had not started into his shooting motion. Those were the type of calls that Miami was getting all night long. Caleb Martin was getting a superstar whistle tonight. That's half the reason why he had an incredible game. And shout out to the Caleb Martin, man, because he had a really good game tonight, and he's a very solid role player for the Heat. He fits in perfectly for that with that Heat culture. And I'm not slandering Caleb Martin by any means, but he definitely got the benefit of the whistle tonight, and the Heat did all night long. And we've seen that in the past. And again, I said it in my last recap against the Heat. They were being physical and getting to the line, and I'm okay with that. But when you're not calling it both ways and you're letting one team be physical, but you're not letting the other team be physical, it's not fair, man. It's not fair. Jimmy Butler lives at the free throw line. He always gets every single call. And I know Trey gets a lot of calls too, but he's 6 foot, bro. Like, he gets fouled. Jimmy Butler has some of the best footwork I've ever seen. And a lot of those fouls he does draw. But a lot of times, man, dudes are straight up and it's still a foul. I truly don't understand that. And the Heat got the benefit of the whistle tonight, and you cannot deny that. I don't care who you're a fan of. Heat fans, I know you're going to deny it, but y'all have to admit it, bro. Y'all got the benefit of the whistle tonight, and I know y'all ain't going to admit it, but I'm telling you that you did. So number 3 was the Heat bench, and I talked about it a little bit earlier. The 3 guys, Oladipo, Duncan Robinson, and Caleb Martin, just had an incredible game. Really carried the Heat the entire night. Well, not the entire night, but a huge portion of the night. And the Heat bench had almost 60? It was like 60 points or something like that. Atlanta was just not defending the role players. Yeah, Bam got kind of taken out of the game. I think he only finished with like 16 points or something like that. Not a great game offensively. Jimmy Butler, again, he had around like 20 points or something like that. But it was the Heat role players, the Heat bench that really gave them the boost tonight in the absence of Kevin Love. Again, still no Kyle Lowry. And them guys just stepped up, man. And shout out to the Heat role players, because again, this is something we've seen in the past against Atlanta, and I hate watching it. I hate playing the Heat, man. I'll be honest with you. I do. Out of every single team in the NBA, I hate when we play the Heat the most because I always know it's probably going to end up in an L. So that leads me into my third and final point, and that is the Heat three-point shooting. I think they hit 16 or 17 threes tonight, shot over 50% from three. And again, if you're the Hawks, that's just not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done on the defensive end. Let's blame DeAndre Hunter, though. It's just not going to get done on the defensive end when you're letting the Heat role players and just Heat players in general knock down every single three that they're taking with dribble handoffs. You're not going over or under the screen correctly, and it just leads to wide open shots, man. And that was really a huge difference in the game was the role players and obviously the fouls, which I touched on earlier. But it's just not going to get it done when you hit seven or 8 threes or whatever, and then the Heat are pretty much doubling that, and it ends up only being a 2-point win in the end. That's the difference in the ball game. You cannot let that happen, man. And it really primarily happened in the second half. I know the Heat hit a lot of a good bit of threes in the first half, but Atlanta was right there with them in terms of the three ball in the first half, but they went completely cold in the second half. Sadiq Bey wasn't really getting any open looks from three in the second half. Bogey wasn't getting any open looks from three in the second half. Trey and DeJounte, I already touched on him for the three-point shooting these last 2 games. I'm not even going to buy into that. And then we obviously know that that DeAndre Hunter missed those 2 threes, in the down the stretch of the ball game. It is what it is. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it there, man. I don't really have too much more to go into. I'm extremely frustrated after this loss. I really am, because this was a game that we really needed to win, and we needed to put our foot down. We blew another 15-point lead, like it's been the story of the entire season. We just can't keep leads. It doesn't matter who the coach is, bro. That's the players. If you cannot consistently keep a lead and make shots, that's on the players. That's not on the coach. And I think I'm not even gonna get into that, man. I'm really not, because I'm tired of talking about the coaching and everything. Quinn Snyder's still a new guy, with this team, and I think it will turn around eventually. But this just ain't the season. It's time to accept that we're gonna be a play-in team this year, and we're probably gonna lose in the first. We're definitely gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs, even if we even make the playoffs. Because if we play the Heat in the play-in, we're not winning that game. We're just not. The Heat are just a better team. They're a better coach team. They have a better culture. They have an identity. The Heat are just a far superior team than the Hawks, and it's just that simple. And we gave this game away, and we needed it. As soon as the Heat went on that fourth quarter run, I knew the game was over. Again, I apologize for the DeAndre Hunter rant, man. I really am, but I can't stand it, and I'm so tired of it. And y'all know how I feel about DeAndre Hunter at this point, because he's one of my favorite players, and I'm just tired of the slander. So I'm gonna leave it there, man. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this game overall. Where do you see the Hawks finishing, towards the end of the season? Drop a like on the video, and I will catch y'all next episode.